Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Hello, how are you? How are you? Hello. Usual translation. We are in the business of talking about the scientific miracles in the Quran. You will recall the first video, the first episode, we spoke about the mosquito, and then I promised you that the following three will be about you. So the last video and the second one, naturally, was about your finger tips. And this one, the second one about you, is about your skin. It's in fact about the skin, but more specifically, because the actual miracle of the skin, there are a few miracles of the human skin in the Quran, but we are talking today specifically about the pain receptors, the miracle of the pain receptors in the Quran. We shall start with our usual introductory ayah to the topic of the signs or the scientific miracles in the Quran, which is Fussilat. That is the name of the surah, Fussilat, and it's the 41st surah in the Quran. And we shall speak about we shall mention or rehearse the ayah 53. Ayah, which is verse, as in a verse in the Bible or a verse in a Quran, as it were. So, before we start, the second term in this ayah is actually a homonym, as you probably know. Those who watched the previous two videos will know. Now, what is a homonym? Now, the homonym is the name of the main airport in Micronesia. You're asking, where is Micronesia? Micronesia is around the corner from Nauru. And where is Nauru? Nauru is around the corner from Micronesia. I've just told you. That's your entertainment. Now, the true meaning of a homonym is a term or a word which has two meanings or more. Now, we'll reverse the homonym here, and we'll explain it before we even start reading the actual ayah. The homonym here is ayat, and ayat is the plural form of ayah. And ayah means, naturally, at the same time, simultaneously, it means a verse, as once again a verse in the Quran, verse in the Bible, and it means a sign, hence the scientific miracles. So God gives us these signs. So our ayah, introductory ayah is, which is Fussilat 41:53, سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. And the translation goes, سنريهم آياتنا, we shall show them our verses, we shall show them our signs. Who? We, naturally, God uses the royal we shall show them our signs, we shall show them our verses, meaning the Quran. Our verses, fil afaqi, al-afaq, we show them in the high heavens, the heavens above, in the entire universe. That is what al-afaqi means. Wa fi anfusihim, and within their own selves, meaning in their bodies. Talking about us, human beings. So we shall show them our signs, our verses, in the universe and within themselves. حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق, until such time that it is clear, it is evident, it is manifest, crystal clear, that this is the truth. أنه الحق. What is the truth? You may say the verses, you may say the signs, or the verses in the Quran, the signs in the Quran, or the Quran. It is the truth. So this was our introductory ayah to a general introductory ayah to the topic scientific miracles or the signs in the Quran. Now today we shall speak about the skin, your skin, as a pain receptor. Now, previously, the scientists used to believe that it is the brain who's responsible and who knows, who actually knows when we feel pain. But it was discovered, probably from 1898 to 1920. By any means, there were two Americans, one called Joseph Erlanger. He's American but of German descent, and his student, his name was Herbert Spencer Gasser. So these two actually won a Nobel Prize in 1920. And these two were some of the first, if not the first, to discover that the skin was the pain receptor. And I think they were neurologists in neurosciences, something of the sort. So they discover that it's actually the pain is felt by the skin. In fact, nowadays, if someone is burnt, and then to first, second, or third degree, if someone is burnt, when they take them to the emergency, now the doctor will prick their skin so as to see whether the patient responds or does not respond. Now, if the patient responds, that is good news, because his pain receptors in the skin, they're still there. They're sort of intact or intactish, so they were not burnt. It's not to the third degree. Now, if the patient does not respond, that is very bad news for the patient and the doctor. It means his pain receptors are dead, completely burnt. So this is how, before, people used to believe, before the early 20th century, people used to believe that the brain was responsible for feeling pain. But scientists discovered that it's actually the skin which is responsible for receiving as a pain receptor. And today's surah we'll speak about is Surah An-Nisa, which is the fourth surah in the Quran, and it's ayah or the verse 56. So An-Nisa, surah number 4, and 56 is the number of the ayah. And Allah states, subhanallah, إن الذين كفروا بآياتنا سوف نصليهم نارا كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب إن الله كان عزيزا حكيما.